Here we go. I'll wait.
Expectations for the next game in the series, Dragon Age the Veilguard, seem impossible. A full decade, a bevy of behind-the-scenes changes, and an interesting start to its marketing campaign made a bevy of behind-the-scenes changes.
It's a really nice look. It's a nice look. I'm just saying, it's nice. It's a nice look. People love purple.
And an interesting start to its marketing campaign made me a little worried for my most highly anticipated game of the year.
I admire you. What you've been through would break most people.
But one of my biggest concerns, based on early previews, was that it could be headed in the direction of being a linear action game, rather than its more open-world predecessor. While Dragon Age is known for changing its style with each installment, I hope
It's a big-ass fucking hammer. That's nice.
dearly that it wouldn't lose too much of the DA DNA I fell in love with.
Okay, so she's mentioning right now that please don't be a shill and say like, but what from what I've seen, it is way better than previous Dragon Age. Well, we'll see.
After hours of hands-on time spread across 2 days, I'm pleased to say that I walked away with excitement and curiosity, but mostly relief to wave many of those concerns goodbye.
We'll see.
My time with the Veilguard covered a wide smattering of things, including the incredibly expansive character creator, the introductory quests, a faction mission, and a companion quest a little deeper into the game. But I was mostly pleased with my ability to just explore Northern Thedas and all its gorgeously designed glory, experiencing a setting in Dragon Age lore that we've really only heard about. To be clear, the Veilguard isn't the open-world playground that Inquisition was. As game director Corinne Bush has previously stated, it's more mission-based. But what impressed me after the first few hours was how much exploration can still be done in the various regions, as well as the impact the player character, Rook, can have on those regions.
And there we go. Easy. Wow, isn't that something?
Consider it something of a mix of Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, the more streamlined approach of the former with the geographically and socio-politically diverse world of the latter.
This does look
Of course,
nice.
some of the bigger art style, combat, and gameplay changes will be subject to personal taste. But after my time with the Veilguard, I left feeling like these 10 long years just might have been worth the wait.
She is right though. A lot of people are going to be looking at this and it's all dependent on your taste on how this game looks to you and feels to you, because this video games is not only just gameplay for fun, it's also an art form. So yeah, she's right about this.
As fans have already seen from the first gameplay trailer, players are dropped right into the city of Minrathous in the middle of the action as Solus prepares a ritual that will devastate Thedas. Luckily, our old friend Varric has recruited you to help, and it barely takes a couple of minutes for the game to put the focus on Rook.
I do like the hair, and what the hell was that? What the hell is that? I like the hair. And this must be the beginning of the game.
Prepares a ritual that will devastate Thedas.
Varric's
Luckily,
dead.
our old friend Varric has recruited you to help, and it barely takes a couple of minutes for the game to put the focus on Rook.
That looks horrible. That was fucking horrible. If anything, what I just saw in that little thing right there, it looked like, it didn't seem like a person that was going to fight you or mug you. It seemed like some creep that was like, you're my favorite VTuber, and he's just wants to put his hands on her. What the? Watch. What? Look how this looks.
Luckily, our
When he
old friend
tackles
Varric
her.
has recruited you to help, and it barely takes a couple of minutes for the game to put the focus on Rook.
It's just like, I need, listen, I want feet pics, please. It was horrible. Nobody tackles like this, like, oh, I want to get a quick feel. And I'm just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this looks horrible. Oh, God. That's fine. All right.
After a surprisingly
looked
concise
cool.
story recap from Varric, there are a number of aspects the Veilguard starts easing you into. For one, the combat. Gone are the days of Dragon Age Origins' more CRPG-inspired tactical system, offering a style that's a mix of quick action and a mechanic where you can pause and pull up your radial menu. While this absolutely does take some getting used to, and it'll be a gradual process to create what could be a highly customized build while
Hey guys, this is something that I'm probably showing to you out of nowhere in the middle of the video, but I noticed something when I went to see this video a second time, and I wanted you to see this in slow motion. Here you go. The main character's blades just straight up just disappear. Probably gonna be a bug fix for it, but I just noticed it and just wanted to let you guys know. It'll probably be fixed patch day 1, but here we go.
For one, the
Aye. Did you just see that?
For one,
Just disappeared.
combat.
You just see that?
One, the combat.
A little bit more. Watch. Watch your hands.
Gone are the days of Dragon Age.
You know what? Turn her off. Let's continue. She's got her blades. She's not throwing her blades. She's just slicing, stabbing. She's not throwing her blades at all. I don't want to hear any nonsense where she's yeah, she just deleted right there. Watch. Here it comes. Let's see the whole thing. Disappear. And now she has no blades. And the blades are back. And they disappear again. So the game's not gold right now, even though excellent hair physics, game physics are all fucked up. I also wanted to add this part right here. You remember back in the day when I told you there's too much nonsense on the screen? Let me show you some more nonsense, because I can understand Dragon's Dogma 2 and see what's going on. But let me show you an example of way too much. I just don't know what the hell's going on. Here, let's go. When I slow things down, what the hell is going on? Let me pick up the speed a little bit. Look. What's going on, man? Numbers, talking. Bars everywhere. Is this an MMO? Who knows? I don't know what this game is anymore.
Learning all your companion's different abilities, it didn't take me long to actually start having fun with it. I largely played mage.
It's combo based. Most of your stuff is going to be revolved around your combos. And take that as you will, but it really does suck that they want to appeal. You got to remember, if I made an Arkham Asylum game, think about it. Arkham Asylum, another Batman Arkham Asylum. You guys are going to get pumped. You're going to be like, damn, I can't wait for the next Arkham Asylum. I'm so pumped. I can't wait. I'm so ready for another Arkham Asylum. Then people find out that the next Arkham Asylum is a turn-based combat system. Nobody will buy it. Someone will buy it, but nobody will buy it. That's what I mean. This whole thought that you could changing your gameplay drastically like this from previous Dragon Age is going to divide your fans, and it already has shown. It's right there, right in front of you. It's obvious. Everyone could see that. You're going to divide your fans. You do that, this is what's going to happen. Stick to your formula. Stick to your formula. Because if you delve off and change your formula, well, now you have 2 fans. And then you make another game and change the formula a third time. Now you have a mix of 3 to 4 fans now. So now when the latest game comes out, your game is chipped up. You get less of your fans.
Agent Rogue builds during.
Like, here's a perfect example. Last of Us Part 2. Nobody liked the fact that Joel died in the beginning, but that's fine. That's fine. Everybody wanted Ellie to go over there and kill that bitch that killed Joel. And then what happened right in the middle of the game? Get your stupid hands out of the way, Ellie. Get out of the way, Ellie. Guess what? You're going to play the weird muscle chick now. You're playing the weird muscle chick now. You see what I mean? You changed the formula. You're fucking with people. And now you divided the fans to, oh man, Last of Us Part 2 was a masterpiece, to, oh man, Last of Us Part 2 was straight up garbage. Keep playing with your fans.
Bring my hands on.
This is why spin-offs exist. That's why. Don't do this with your mainline entries. Yeah, exactly. Here's another good example. XCOM 2. Everybody loves XCOM 2, right? Anybody else like XCOM 2? I love XCOM 2. XCOM 2 is awesome. Then they did a spin-off to the little Crimson, the other game where you're fighting alongside the aliens. Perfect. It's a side thing. You can play that game and it plays a little bit differently. It's like a fire team or something, but it's in the XCOM universe. It's a little spin-off. You don't have to play that. We all know XCOM 2 is great, but it's still the same formula. And it's a little spin-off thing. That is perfect. What he just said, what Cross just said. You remember when we were getting excited over certain games like Iron Man or Batman or different sort of games, and you're like, oh man, they're gonna bring an Iron Man game out, and then you find out that it's just a VR game where you have Iron Man hands and you start going do, and you're like, next.
Time, and also quickly started to lean on certain companions' abilities. For one, the mage healing ability was essential. For one particularly difficult remnant, I basically established a pattern where I was only using Balara's mana to heal me, dodging and playing it safe when it got too risky. Nev's ability to slow time was also one I kept returning to, offering a bit more control on the battlefield when the situation got a little too fast-paced.
You have slow magic? Let me go back.
Was essential. For one particularly difficult remnant, I basically established a pattern where I was only using Balara's mana to heal me, dodging and playing it safe when it got too risky. Nev's ability to slow time was also one I kept returning to, offering a bit more control on the battlefield when the situation got a little too fast-paced. And for you glass cannon builds out there, you'll want to have a warrior around to taunt your enemies out of your way.
That's not gonna work. The taunt isn't gonna last very long. Because you changed the formula now. You're trying to keep your D&D style way of playing the game back. You're trying to keep D&D / Dragon Age Origin style of gameplay. You know, certain mechanics, but you're trying to make it an action RPG. Where things are a lot faster and more quicker, and you also made your side characters basically not even matter. They don't matter. They're just extra abilities. You don't see yourself healing your own allies in this game. So when you do that, you will taunt the enemy. Let's say you taunt the enemy. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's say the warrior Davrin taunts the enemy. he will taunt the enemy, but he won't be able to taunt every enemy. I checked it out when he taunted the enemy in the previous game, in the previous video. There was a radius for that taunt. So if you got a radius for that taunt, you got to make sure that you're near Davrid. Okay, that's what you're going to have to do. You're also going to have to make sure that, because a lot of enemies are just scattered everywhere. It's pure chaos. I'm looking at each and every one of these fights that I'm seeing right up here, and the enemies are scattered everywhere. So this whole thing where it's just like, yo, you're going to taunt the enemy, you're going to taunt the enemy, you're going to taunt the enemy. And I'm like, for how long? For how long? These enemies recognize one person's damage, and guess whose that is? Yours, because you do the biggest damage. Your allies set up procs, you set up the big damage. You do the big kills. All those kills, all these kills, they may look like you guys are working as a party, and you are working as a party, but you yourself, your own character, is doing the top damage. You are getting all kills. If there was a kill like screen or kill board at the end of each mission, all the kills would be yours. We'll be fair. Most of the kills are going to be yours because you do the primary damage.
I did it, Davrid. No problem.
Like a whole lot in the Veilguard, combat revolves around your companions, even though you can't fully take control of them like in previous Dragon Age games.
Yes.
Different companions have different combo options together, and there are certainly opportunities to build team synergy. Oh, and you'll want to listen to your companions in combat too, as they'll occasionally drop some useful hints. But combat
a little shield ability that shoots out like darkness, and then you're just like, holy shit, I almost got hit by that. Did you guys just sit that? And then Balara's just like, enemy hits from range, and I'm just like, yes they do. No really big information. Like let's say you run into a big burly like shield dude like you just saw. You know what would be some really cool information is to say like, he's got a lot of armor and a lot of health. We should probably focus on shredding that damage first. He's like, something like that. Something like that, you know? Or if your allies see more than 5 enemies or more than 10 enemies, I don't know, some crazy number of enemies. Your allies should say something like, we should probably focus down on keeping them together for some big damage or something like that. You know, something where it sounds like that's actually a good idea. Not like ranged attack. You gotta watch out for them ranged attacks. Oh my God, I just thought about something. What if they repeat what they say, bro? Bro, what if they repeat what they say, bro? We haven't seen that, but what if they do? Oh no. I hope not. Enemy hits from range. Enemy hits from range. Enemy hits from range. And you're just like, wolves hunted packs arisen. Oh no. Oh, we're back. We're so back.
combat aside, your dialogue choices, your rook's background, and the frequent decisions you make are immediately important, which shouldn't be too surprising for fans of BioWare games. The dialogue wheel is back, of course.
The dialogue choices. I really don't like it. I like it when Baldur's Gate 3 had some really amazing choices, but I'm seeing a pattern here, a pattern of behavior where you get the giant circle in the middle, so there's going to be only 3 choices on the left and 3 choices on the right. I liked it when Baldur's Gate 3 had a little book thing at the bottom that just had a list of all these little things that you could do, and you could pan it up and down if it's a lot of choices. This thing, it's just like And also, I've noticed that the sentences are lowered. So if you're about to pick, I hope they don't go back in Mass Effect days, or I think, yeah, it was Mass Effect. Mass Effect did this whole thing where it was just like, I'm gonna click "We need information," and then you pick "We need information," and then your shepherd just grabs the person by the throat and then slaps them in the head. "We need all the information," and you're like, "What are you doing? Why did you slap him? What the fuck, shepherd?" Oh, what I'm saying is there's a lot of simplified sentences right at the bottom of here, and I'm just like looking at it, I'm like, I don't like that. I like it when it's the complete sentence.
As is the approval-disapproval system.
We haven't got a lot of time. Varric said you had a lead on Solus?
You get right to the point.
But I was surprised to see that the Veilguard actually explains the consequences of some of your dialogue choices in very clear terms.
See, you say that.
It's a variation of the so-and-so will remember that system, but more specific.
But we
This character that she created is more attractive than all the companions combined. What did you do? No, seriously, what did you do? This companion is way more attractive. If she was part of the companions, I would never get her out of the team. She would be always in the team. Always in the damn team. And then one of the characters what if I pick my uncle? What if my uncle wants to be in my companion team? Tash. Tash is gonna be like, "Oh, I need help with Kunari nonsense. Can you bring me along?" Fuck no. "Well, you got space." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I got this purple bitch, and I got the necromancer dude or some shit. I don't know who I'll have. This person she created is more attractive than anybody else." I'm guessing they'll say something about their vulnerable element, and the shortened sentences are the worst. They're not going to make much sense. Yeah, it's not going to make much sense. We've long since passed the whole idea of shortening the sentences. Give us each and every, because context is very, very important. You can't just put like, "I had you on my side," or "Okay, but it worked though." So if you pick "Okay, but it worked though," then you add other shit when you say the word, you fucking mess up the context.
Explains the consequences of some of your dialogue choices in very clear terms.
See, you say that.
It's a variation of the so-and-so will remember that system, but more specific.
But we do have Nev's location now, so...
Take, for example, my first confrontation with Solus, aka Fen'Harel, aka the Dreadwolf. I chose a more sarcastic, humorous approach with him, and at the end of our confrontation, text on the side of the screen informed me that I have traded verbal jabs with Solus.
This is your responsibility now.
It was Solus.
This is your...
Text on the side of the screen informed me that I have...
You have exchanged verbal jabs. Okay, alright. Okay. Here's how you can get the player more immersed into your player more immersed. Don't add this shit. Don't add any of that word at all. Don't add any of it. Hold on. Just don't add any of it. The reason being is because let it just be known that Solus will remember that. I love the term Solus will remember that because you don't know what part of the sentence that you just said he'll remember. You know what I mean? Let it be just like Solus will remember your words. That's it. That's it. And then later on, he'll be like, okay, you were being kind of a fucking clown the first time I met you. And he'll be like, oh, yeah, I was being a clown the first time I met him. Oh, man, that's cool that he would remember that. Not giving me the whole sentence of like, Solus thinks you're a bit of a prick. And I'm like, I don't want to know that information. I will find out through Solus, not through a text log on the side of the screen. Should I be a game developer at this point? At this point, I should be a game developer. At this point, I should be a game developer.
Have traded verbal jabs with Solus.
This is your responsibility now.
It was far from the only occurrence of this sort of text, and it leaves me curious as to how your relationships with various characters will build and branch out over time based on your attitude. Speaking of consequences, it quickly became clear to me that there would consistently be tons of choices in the Veilguard that'll have lasting results. It probably sounds like I'm stating the obvious here, but I got the sense that even more of these kinds of choices might be peppered throughout than the...
This Kunari looks a little bit better, but it's still... There was defining lines to the horns, to the skin, to the Kunari that I feel like that they just didn't add. It's still very smooth, but I think the reason why this one is nice, it's because she added more stuff to her face. So it's less revealing that the fact that she's just like just skin. So there should be, I have a feeling that they got rid of the whole, I feel like that they wanted a more smoother look because of a design choice, and that's fine. But I'm gonna let you know, it looks fucking weird. Fucking smooth ass Kunaris. These people are built like a rock. They are not built like a little soft little goth bitch that you know, she's finally figured out you know, how to ride a car. Their skin and everything is really defined, and you could tell. But if you look at a Kunari back in the day, you could tell if you punched a Kunari in the face, they would not move. I'm looking at the Kunaris in Dragon Age Veilguard. Each one of them looks soy boy. I look like I would slap this bitch and she would cry. Back in the day, I looked at the Kunari woman. I was just like, I ain't fucking with that bitch. I ain't fucking with Iron Bull. Are you serious?
Usual Bioware game. Right at the beginning, for instance, I made a choice that led to Harding getting injured, and she was still bruised up for the remainder of the next couple hours. I felt like a real jerk about it, and that was probably the point. Dragon Age the Veilguard seemed to be telling me, right from the start, that I'm going to feel like a jerk a lot.
You don't slow down for much, do you?
Without spoiling too much, you'll also be able to see some of your progression and choices in the environment around you as well. But once introductions were out of the way, it was time to explore the wide world of Thedas and see its past and present collide.
That lightning looked nice.
Let's do this.
As mentioned earlier, one of my biggest worries was that the Veilguard could end up
hold on. Hold on. Did you guys just get busted out? Yeah, hold on. We'll wait. No, because something happened. I'm gonna wait until they come back though, because we're trying to do this whole Twitch is being weird, chat, so I apologize. You know how it is. You know how Twitch be. Give it some time, let it reconnect. Yeah, the forehead is more defined. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We'll wait. Sorry for everybody getting a look at this. I'll wait. The Aeroshock and the Canary, yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I've seen the Aeroshock from Dragon Age 2, and those guys look like Muscle Supreme. You know, you fight Canaries in this game, and I've seen those Canary, and those Canary are badass. But I'm looking at the Canary now, and I'm just like, I could tease this Canary. Ain't nobody want to openly tease a Canary. We'll wait until everybody's back. We good? I apologize, everybody. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the video. In 3, 2, 1. Oh.
As mentioned earlier, one of my biggest worries was that the Veilguard could end up being more linear in its approach, trading branching gameplay for a straight line. And sure, the opening hours, essentially the tutorial zone, are a little railroady, save for a couple key decisions you have to make. But once you're past that and more established within Act 1, you're much more free to tackle quests as you please as you unlock more and more regions. You do this via the Crossroads. For those of you who aren't brushed up on your Dragon Age lore, that's a nexus between the waking world of Thetis and the metaphysical realm of the Fade, through which the ancient elves would travel through magical mirrors called Alluvians. You now use the Alluvians for that same purpose, and to unlock new regions, you have to fight through certain areas of the Crossroads before you can start fast traveling to them.
And I've been okay with that. That's fine.
Unlocking said regions opens up a vast network of areas, and not unlike past Dragon Age games, they're dramatically different from one another.
As the gods' champion passed freely, so will you.
Take, for example, the Arlethan Forest, a gorgeous, colorful region that mixes greenery with elven magic. You can see nugs burrow into the grass, magical artifacts abound, and there's a vast array of nature to simply admire. You're hit with a massive tone shift, however, when you head to Haussburg.
Lavendel Village. Whatever happened here looks like Demeter's Crossing.
Currently under siege by the Blight, here is where you'll see some of the more horror-inspired aesthetics, and frankly,
was that a giant hammer?
Here is where you'll see some of the more horror-inspired aesthetics, and frankly, just some of the grosser aspects of the Blight.
I'm looking at all these abilities, and I'm just like, a lot of these abilities are just straight up new. Like, I'm seeing a couple abilities, like the lightning abilities, and it's cool to have new abilities, but some of these abilities are kind of comical. The giant hammer, and I'm just like, I don't know what that ability is. I mean, it's a giant hammer. I mean, I guess that's what it is, but I'm looking at some of these abilities, and I'm not going to remember some of these things. Or, no, let me correct myself. It's not that I won't remember. It's just that I've known so many different abilities from previous games where the hammer kind of looks ridiculous. We're in an action game now. We're not in a CRPG anymore.
While the Veilguard's tone certainly leans more high fantasy in places like the Crossroads, don't worry. Those who miss the gore and dark fantasy of Origins will find that too in places where the Blight has spread. But I couldn't help but spend a lot of my time just running around in Treviso, the bustling city that's home to the Antivan Crows faction. For one thing, a lively city feels like a novelty in Dragon Age. But there was simply so much to explore that I kept getting sidetracked. A merchant with unique items here, a new quest to pick up over there, and a random combat encounter over there.
Kill them! Kill the Anton!
And that's just when I wasn't looking around for a cat or dog to pet. Because yes, you can pet the cats and dogs. Unique ways to interact.
I'm done with that whole cute bullshit. I don't care about the cute shit. Okay? Well, wow, hooray for you. You're strong and brave. You can pet something that's not real.
With the environment as well. Each companion has an environmental ability, some of which came in quite handy for me.
That's kind of cool. What do you got?
In my time in the Arlethan Forest, I frequently called upon Balara, whose environmental ability allows her to tinker with magical artifacts. In
Okay.
a nice quality of life feature, your companions don't even need to be in your party in order for you to use these abilities. As an aside, another one of my favorite
Then why don't you just add the fourth person in your team? You don't even need to have them in your party, and they could just zip in and just use the ability and just leave. I'm still stuck on that whole, why don't you have a fourth person in your team? Oh my god.
quality of life additions is
It's because they wanted to do this stupid circle shit. That's why. That's why. They wanted the circle to be like this. So stupid.
the fact that party banter pauses and picks up again later if you trigger combat, a cutscene, or anything else that would interrupt their dialogue.
I like
That's
that.
right, no more awkward standing around in order to hear the complete conversation.
Yes.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, the difficulty and accessibility options do allow for about just as much or as little hand-holding as you need. For example, with one Antivan Crow's quest I was doing, I could turn the navigation on and simply follow the game's guidance, or turn it off and look for clues in the
Question. I have a question. If you're gonna be doing dealings with the Antivan Crows, which is an assassin's guild, right? Right? It's not a thieves guild, it's an assassin's guild. Okay, so you're doing dealings with an assassin's guild. Okay, got you. Just wanted to hear that real quick. Why can't you be a blood mage? You'll do deals with criminals, but you won't do deals with blood magic. Really? It's lore related? Okay. Rook can't do blood magic. Why? Ah, man, it's you know, it's bad. I am literally hanging out with the Assassin's Guild. One of your characters can fuck one of the Assassin's Guild. Yeah.
the environment to follow. In this case, the crow's purple symbol painted on certain walls.
Another mark this way.
You're marking areas with the Antivan crows, letting people know this is you're joining in their little you're joining in with the Antivan crows and just vandalizing other areas, but you can't be a blood mage. All right, whatever. Lore reasons. Okay, I thought we could have fun here, but okay.
Happened to be playing an Antivan Crow Rook while completing this quest, which led to some fun dialogue options.
We crows are all the army Antiva has, but it's not like we can field the garrison.
Once I was in the thick of things, I could clearly see the features in the Veilguard that boiled down to, okay, we heard the complaints about Inquisition, specifically addressing the infamous Hinterlands problem, which is a reference to the first open world area players visit in Inquisition. The zone was packed with more than 50 side quests, many of which boiled down to mere fetch quests, and it left many players drowning in a bevy of checklists that felt inconsequential to the story. The Veilguard has boiled this down quite a lot. You're still free to explore, but the scope isn't nearly as dizzying, and the quests point back to the main story, a region or faction, or a companion. Another clear reaction to criticisms of Inquisition.
Yo, Morgan. Yo, it was both pleasure and a necessity to help them. Then, as it is now, stopping Elegon and Gilnan shall require many hands. 'Twas both pleasure and necessity to help them as it is now. That's cool. That's cool. Man, I miss that woman. Whoever designed Morgan's clothes should be fired. Should be fired. Why does she look like this? I'm okay with the crown. The crown is a testament to, you know, her mother Flemeth. The hair is horrible. Her fit is horrible. I could do better.
Are our villains in the Veilguard, Elgranon and Gillinane. The two elven gods feel much more present throughout the events of the early game than Corypheus, the frankly lackluster baddie of Inquisition.
Whatever comes, we're ready for a fight. Words easily said, but rarely proven.
While there's a whole lot more Thedas to see and talk about, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it back home to the lighthouse. The lighthouse will likely be the most important location of the Veilguard, serving as the hub for you and your companions. Each one of your companions has their own room, and conveniently, a light shines outside of their door when they have a cutscene available. Once you get further into Act 1, it certainly starts to feel more lived in, and you can discover some pretty charming character quirks. For example, I found that Emmerich's skeletal assistant Manfred enjoys spending time on the balcony, and we even got a few games of rock, paper, scissors in.
Wow,
the lighthouse is
adorable.
also, obviously, where you're able to do some housekeeping, especially when it comes to the caretaker.
Offer, Dweller. I will answer.
This wildly helpful spirit is always standing by to help you
remember
enchant and
this.
upgrade armor for you and your companions. But I found the lighthouse somewhat symbolic of one of the biggest challenges this game is facing, bringing in new players while honoring the now incredibly vast lore that Dragon Age has built across the games, comic books, short stories, and more. Basically, if you were worried that the name change from Dragon Age Dreadwolf would mean less Solus, think again. His history, along with the history of the other elven gods, is baked into the lighthouse.
We weren't thinking that changing the name we weren't thinking that changing the name would be less Solus. When we thought that they were gonna have less Solus, is when they mentioned that there's gonna be less Solus. That's what they said. It wasn't, oh, they changed the name, there's gonna be less Solus. No, they literally said Solus is gonna be is gonna be over here, just a little bit over here. But the main thing is your characters and your companions. That's what they said. Look at my previous videos. It wasn't the fucking logo. Dreadwolf sounds better though.
And you learn more and more about the threat you face as you unlock Solus's murals with various wolf statues. You even get to see some of his memories firsthand.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
As a lore nerd, I very much appreciated this, as well as the various other callbacks to series history. The Origins fans will likely love the Grey Warden heavy quests, and we already know the Inquisitor will be involved in some way, as you can recreate them and select your world states in the character creator. But I do wonder if it'll overwhelm to recreate them in heavy quests, and we already know the Inquisitor will be involved in some way, as you can recreate them and select your world states in the character creator. But I do wonder if it'll overwhelm new players, which BioWare certainly seems to be courting with its action-heavy combat system.
Now this is a cool design of a monster. Giant horns and like mandibles all over his body. He's got scales for his arms. I found the one enemy that looks fucking cool. Hold on, let me get a better look.
But I do wonder if it'll overwhelm new players, which
it will overwhelm new players. Yeah, it will, because they're going deep.
BioWare certainly
that's a really cool looking character.
Seems to be courting with its action-heavy combat system. That's why it helps, at least, to have something of an outsider like Rook to take the helm of the Veilguard. Plus, the scrappiness of Rook reminded me a bit of playing as Hawke in Dragon Age 2, rather than the more Chosen One-esque protagonists of the Warden in Origins and the Inquisitor in Inquisition. In short, a lot's changed in Dragon Age the Veilguard, but there was so much I was relieved to see stay. The focus on companions and romance, the rich lore, and a gorgeous world to explore. It goes without saying that there's still a ton of the Veilguard that I haven't seen, especially if it's as big as Origins and Inquisition, and it certainly seems like it. But after finishing my preview, I found myself even more eager to dive into it, and much more hopeful that this could be the hit BioWare needs.
Yeah, so I don't think I learned much new from this, but other than that, I don't think there's anything else new to this game. I think what we've seen already, this is the second video, and there's not much new that's to this game. What you see is what you pretty much got. Yeah, it's been 10 years since the last Dragon Age. But yeah. Yeah, it's I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the views of all these videos, and let me tell you, let me tell you. These view numbers, I think it's because it's IGN. These view numbers and these likes and dislikes, it's not getting a lot of love. I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's not getting a lot of love. Let me look at more. Nobody cares about that. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's at the board. No? No. That's the home. Wait, where did it go? The video is just up and gone. I don't care about that cat. I'm not seeing it. It was like literally right here. Oh, there we go. IGN first. This one, there's a lot of views. Holy crap. 11K likes and 10K dislikes? Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not hearing a lot of love from these games. I'm not. There's good. You know what I'm noticing? It's a lot of people looking at the game and skeptical about the game because they're just like, give me something that Dragon Age Veilguard, give me a goal to work towards for Dragon Age Veilguard. Then they look at a trailer and they're like, nope. All right, give me another video. Nope. All right, give me another video. Yeah, see, it's that feeling of something that you love, a franchise that you love, and then you see the next game. Perfect example, Saints Row. Saints Row had a whole bunch of love, a whole bunch of fans for Saints Row. Then they made that fucking DEI ugly ass fucking atrocity that is the new Saints Row. And that's how it happened. You changed everything. You changed everything. And people were just like, yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm just not buying it. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I'm sure I'll pick it up 2 to 3 years from now if it's $20 with all DLC. I think people have seen enough now to be able to make up their minds. I haven't seen this video because I already know I'm not buying it. I don't need more info. Yeah, I'm at this point where I just don't need any more info, guys. Yeah, I'm just like, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. Oh well, that's it for now. Guys, thanks so much for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. You take care now. Peace.